Welcome to Mitten Kitchen. I'm Amy, and today we are making sourdough biscuits, but we're going to turn those into breakfast sandwiches for the freezer. So my sourdough is nice and bubbly, and we're going to go ahead and use this as the starter for the biscuits. So the recipe I'm following says I need 225 grams of the starter / discard. In my world, it's the same thing. I did not get super technical with my sourdough making. It is a journey. I was really inspired by someone I was watching on YouTube that pretty much said you can't mess it up. So do what you feel comfortable with. And my starter has been alive for almost 2 years now. So I think we are on a fruitful journey. I've been able to share it with some people as well, which is always very inspiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed my starter as well, because tomorrow morning I wanna make some other bread. So we'll feed this for now. So if you watch my other videos, I use einkorn flour for my sourdough. It is on the more low gluten index, and sourdough is also helpful for fermentation, ferments, which is helpful for gluten as well. So my husband is gluten-free, and we've tested this out the last 2 years. He's had no problem with it. So we're able to use this as our flour / bread alternative, and it's been working out really good. He's not celiac, so do keep that in mind. If you are celiac, I would definitely not recommend this at all. But if you are the sensitive side, this could be an option for you. So this is how I feed my starter. I'm gonna fill this up to 100 grams of water. And you essentially just have some leftover starter from previous. And when you add more to it, it will feed it and it will grow. And then you have an active starter to use for bread making, anything like that, bagels. So I'm going to feed this now full of 100 grams of flour. There we go. And then we mix it up. I'll just take a knife and mix it. You can incorporate that new flour and water with the bottom starter, and that will make sure it's nice and incorporated, and will get really nice and bubbly for you to use for whatever you need next. Now I tend to do that 100 to 100 ratio. There are a lot of people that tend to follow just more of like feel and texture and looks. That's fine. This works for me. You do what works for you. So see what a difference that was from when I first showed you to right now. This is more like a pancake batter, whereas before is more of like a luscious, like creamy flour. So this will be ready in about 12 hours for me to use for my next journey, which will be sandwich bread. Okay, back to our biscuits. So we have here our starter. We now need some milk. I actually don't have milk right now, so I have almond milk that we'll use instead. I was hoping my cream was still good, but it's not. So we're gonna start off with 80 grams of this. And you can see we're gonna incorporate that really well. I'm gonna go ahead and grate my salt. And we're looking for 3 grams of salt. So we have 3 grams of salt here. Okay. And then we need 15 grams of baking powder. So next up, we're gonna try some baking powder. And that will be 15 grams. Give that a mix. And then next up, second to last, is our flour for 250 grams. And then we need butter. Here's our flour going in. You can see that baking soda already making it nice and bubbly. Actually wearing an apron today. I figured working with flour, I should try to get it going. Okay, so we'll give that a nice mix, and then we will add in our butter. So it said to give it a feel, and if you need to add more milk, you add more milk. But so far I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get our butter grated and in here. My grater right here and my butter, and we're gonna get it grated into, I'm gonna try not to hold the butter with my hands because that will be just more melty. So I'll try to do it this way. I'll turn it that way. Try to get creative with this. There we go. Smells good already. What can go wrong with just butter and flour? Nothing. So I've never made this before. I've made biscuits before, but not like biscuit sandwiches. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. My husband requested ham and Swiss and then eggs. So I think that will be really good. This is kind of a different take on those English muffin sandwiches I make for the freezer, which use my chicken sausage. So I'll get that butter down. Let me wash up. Actually, you know what? I should probably just do this with my hands. They're already kind of messy. So let's just get in there. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and get this all incorporated. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but it feels right. Feels like a good texture to me. Incorporate that. Let's get the sides down. Guess we don't need to be on the scale anymore. There we go. That feels about right. One thing I want to make with you guys soon is cinnamon rolls. I made sourdough cinnamon rolls this summer, and oh my gosh, they were so good. So, okay. So we're going to be able to roll this out. Flour it up. Oh, it is so sticky. It's warm today. Not the best day to be making biscuits. It's more like a winter activity, right? I guess you could, I could have put these in the oven, or the fridge maybe to cool, but I don't have that much time in the day right now. It's a beautiful Sunday and I just have a couple hours to myself to do this, so you gotta take advantage of the time. Okay, that seems probably the best we're gonna get. I was hoping to get like 12 biscuits. I'm not so sure about that. Okay. So I like to use my ring from canning to make those sizes. I think we're gonna be lucky if we get like 6 of these. Okay, I'm gonna get our pan ready so I can just put them in there. So it's funny, the recipe said this would get me 12 biscuits. I'm not sure how. I guess I could have doubled it, but you know, this is why it's always just important to try. Just give something a try. Maybe my sizing's big, but I feel like this would be a good size for breakfast, so I think I'll need a couple more baking pans. And if I don't get enough, maybe we'll just put these in the fridge for breakfast this week, right? You just gotta adjust. Okay, looks like we gotta maybe 1 or 2 more out of this. Trying not to touch it too much because I don't want that butter to completely melt in my hands. I think maybe next time too I would freeze the butter. I think that could help keep its, you know, coldness potentially. Like I said, it's a hot day too, so that's not helping the temperature in the house. Okay, I think I'll make 1 more, and then I'll have 1 more little pan that I can put this in. Yep. So we'll just shape this one ourselves. There we go. So our oven is set for 450. Wash up and get these in the oven. So these biscuits go in the oven for 15 minutes. Let's get them in. Now, while those are in the oven for 15 minutes, we can start getting our eggs scrambled and nice and fluffy for the eggs on top of the biscuits. Inside the biscuits, not on top. So while the biscuits cook, we're gonna go ahead and get our eggs scrambled. And with that, we will go ahead and shred our cheese for it. So I think I'm gonna do 6 eggs and a little bit of cottage cheese. Okay, wash up and we'll get some cottage cheese in there. I know cottage cheese is having its moment right now, but I always liked it. We always had it growing up and I love it. It's really nice for like lunches, on the like really quick lunches. Add some vegetables to it, you're good to go. We're gonna use this. This will help the eggs just be really nice and fluffy and add a little extra protein versus adding another egg. So we did 6 eggs. I'm thinking because that's probably how many breakfast sandwiches we'll get. Or we'll get like 7, you know. So this will give them at least some nice substance in the morning. This will be good for the whole fam. I can see my son really liking this, me really liking this, and my husband. So this will be nice to have. Probably in the fridge. If we like this though, I'll know to like double the batch and everything. I was really hoping to get some freezer meals out of this, but you know what? That's part of home cooking. You adapt, you adjust. Let's get this in our cast iron skillet. And go ahead, dump this in. You can see that this is a well-seasoned one. It's not really sticking. So I always, you know, there's a little bit, right? But overall, it's not bad. I've really started to learn how to enjoy cooking with cast iron. I'll show you a really easy way to clean up too. So if you're intimidated by cast iron, I'll show you how easy it is to clean it up. Look at those eggs getting really nice. I'm just going to keep kind of moving them to the center so they're getting nice and fluffy and not staying too hard in one place. And the meat and the cheese is fairly easy. We just got to slice some cheese slices. I bought some Swiss at Costco. And the meat, my husband decided on ham, you know, so you don't have to cook that. It's already cooked. And I got that at Costco as well, just to make our lives a little bit easier. So we'll have homemade breakfast sandwich biscuit sandwiches. I think we should call it that. I like this little silicone handle too. At first I didn't have it and I was always burning myself, or you know, who knows what, but we're doing much better now. Getting really fluffy. I think what I'll do is I'll just put them in a bowl, and when we're ready we can add them to the biscuits. I'll show you how to clean this, because you want to ideally clean it shortly after you use it. It's okay if you don't. Trust me, I've left it mine for like 2 days once, and I did the same method and it was just as easy to clean it up. So if you had an immersion blender or a blender, you could have blended up the cottage cheese and it would have got a little bit more, you know, controlled. You can see the curds there. I don't really mind it. You can see some of them have just melted too, so that is okay with me. So these are almost done. They're really nice and fluffy, and it'll be super easy cleanup. You can see the curds getting melted too. They get a little bubbly. So this is probably done. We're going to turn off the heat. Probably done. It is done. And we'll add it to a bowl. See how fluffy those eggs turned out? Just really nice, slowly cook them. Look how fluffy those are. I'm always so proud of those. Those are some good eggs, if I say so myself. The biscuits are smelling heavenly up in here. Can't wait to break into one for you guys. So our eggs are ready. I'll put them over for our assembly line. So while this is hot, we're going to go ahead and clean this up. I'm going to add water to it. We're going to turn it on to boil. The water is going to start lifting it up. You'll watch this and it will come right off. It's really nice and easy. Dump it out, do it again until you feel like it's clean. Then you add a little bit more of your oil and you're good to go. So I'm gonna let that boil. Starts to come right off. You can see that bottom really opening up. So I'm just gonna let it keep doing its magic of boiling and cleaning. And that's it. It's really easy to use and clean a cast iron. Now, I'm sure there's other ways of cleaning cast irons, but this works for me. It's really easy to just get it going once I have it already done. So it says our biscuits are done. Let's go ahead and see if they're golden brown. Oh, they look pretty golden brown to me. What do you guys think? Maybe a couple more minutes. Let's check the bottom. Yeah, I'd say maybe let's do 1 or 2 more minutes. Look how nicely they puffed right up. We'll do 2 more minutes. Our biscuits are done. You can see that nice golden brown right there. I'm gonna go ahead and let them cool. We're gonna go ahead and slice the cheese now. So I have some Swiss here that I got from Costco. We're gonna go ahead and slice that up for our biscuits. Not sure how to do this best. We're just gonna, there we go. We're gonna just slice it like that. There we go. Okay, I always love this part. That little piece of cheese. Look at all the cheese we got. It's perfect. Just have to show you how clean this is. Still has to be seasoned, but we're good there. So now we're gonna go ahead and slice our biscuits for the sandwiches. So they look good. They might be a little flaky, which is not a bad thing, right? Like, you want biscuits to be flaky. Okay, that worked. So we serrated that. I'm gonna go ahead and just get them on a cookie sheet so it's easy to assemble. So for now, we're gonna be cutting these. So I take my serrated knife, kind of go really lightly through. They're pretty crumbly, but that's what makes a good biscuit, right? This one might have just totally crumbled. Yeah, that one totally crumbled. Okay, this is a little messier than I expected, guys. Okay, let's try it again. Here we go. Okay, we got 2 so far cut. Don't fall apart. You look like you're gonna be a good one. Okay. This one fell apart too. I'm gonna try to salvage it. This is challenging, guys. We might just have to do like breakfast bowls with biscuits. I think that's what we'll do with a couple of them. Okay. So they're just, I mean, they're totally good, but they're crumbly. So I think we're gonna change it up. We'll do breakfast bowls with them. So they're very messy, and I want to be able to enjoy these. So we're gonna just put them in bowls, and they're gonna be like breakfast bowls. And that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm a little disappointed, but that's okay. Not all recipes come out to be fantastic, you know, and like the flavor's there. The flavor's fantastic, but they're just very crumbly. And like that one could have been a good one. While we're here though, let's go ahead and enjoy this. The flavor is fantastic. They just weren't meant to be breakfast sandwiches. It's good. Okay. So we have our cheese, eggs, and ham. Let's go ahead and add in our eggs. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and add our ham, I think. Let's add the ham. So the cheese gets melty then on top when we microwave them. Okay, we're gonna top it with some ham now. I decided to cut it because before it was gonna be a sandwich and now it's more of a bowl. So this will be easier to eat with a fork when it's a little bit already cut up. Now my husband, I can already see putting like hot sauce on this. I'm sure he would love that. That seems pretty. Then we'll go ahead and add some cheese. These are still gonna be delicious. And you know what? Now we have breakfast packed and prepped for the week versus having to grab something from the freezer. So it works out. Regardless, it's all about convenience. Okay. There we go. Well, thanks for joining me in the Mitten Kitchen today. I'm Amy, and we made a still delicious breakfast prep, even though it was not our original plan. So we made breakfast bowls today instead of our breakfast sandwiches, but the flavor is still there. And you can top this with some vegetables if you'd like, maybe some spinach, onion, asparagus, whatever is in season. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time here in the Mitten Kitchen. Bye everyone.